Hi, everyone. When you come in, say where you're from. If you haven't already, allow StreamYard to show your name for Facebook. Allow Facebook to share your name so that I can actually see you guys, or else I won't be able to see who I'm talking to. But I'll just see Facebook user. I like to see your names. And say where you're from and get a something to write with, because there's actually going to be a lot of information in this one, so you may want to write things down. I'm sharing the link everywhere real quick. See, there's a couple people on. Who we got? We got a few people on now. Who we got watching? Where y'all from? I'm in Ohio. Yay. It's cold. It looks really pretty and bright. You can see all that like beautiful sun in my window because it looks beautiful outside. It is cold. We had snow and like this weird snow rain. We had like hail yesterday or the other day. It was crazy. Somebody is from Michigan. Hello there. Hello, Golden Sun Goddess, watching on YouTube. Who else we got? North Carolina. All right. Hi, Kiara. Is it Kiara or Kiera? I don't want to say it wrong. I know there's 1,000 ways to say that name. But hello. Welcome, beautiful. I always start like right on time, so we'll give people a couple minutes to start. But like I said, if you're watching from Facebook, make sure you let StreamYard show your name so that I can see who you are. Somebody's okay. So Golden Sun Goddess is watching from Orlando. It was 58 degrees this morning. I bet that is cold in Orlando. um, what was I gonna say? Okay, so make sure StreamYard is showing your name if you're on Facebook, or else I'll just see Facebook user. Hey sis. I won't really see your names. If you have something to write with, that would be great because there's going to be a lot of info in today's class. Let's see, we got a few people on here now. So this is being streamed across 2 different YouTubes and Facebook. So hi, Omojole, my sister, my Erarbin. Man, listen, Omojole is like the MVP for real. Okay, yeah. Omojole is like an MVP. She helps us so much in the coven. She moderates the whole world of the Orisha Hoodoo Coven. She is amazing. She is kind and just, I just love her. No, I'm giving you your flowers now, Omojole. I'm giving you your flowers right now because you deserve them. You and the priestesses, because, woo, Priestess Ifa Milani and Priestess Oshun Fonke and Priestess Seye, Priestess Leye. Y'all do a lot. I strive to be like you one day. Give me a couple months. I'll be there. I will be there. All right. I'm going to get started in 1 more minute. 4:35 Eastern time. I have to get used to saying Eastern time because I forget that we have people in other states. I'm so used to just being in like the Midwest and everybody being on Eastern time that I actually talk to that I don't even think about that. So I'm gonna do better, y'all. I promise. I promise. Somebody sent me a love donation already. Oh shoot! We ain't even got started yet, and I got a love donation. Okay, all right. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Yes. All right, y'all. So before we get started, I'll say it again. Make sure you have something to write with, and make sure if you're watching from Facebook, there's a link where it says allow Facebook to use your name. That way I can actually see your name when you comment, or else everybody else just says Facebook user. And I have my notes on my phone, so I can't use like pull it up and see who's talking. So if I just say a general thank you, that's why. I'll come talk to y'all in the comments after. All right, so hello everyone. My name is Omoworare, and I am a goddaughter of Priestess Iyanifa Oshunfunke. And today's live class is going to be about herbs. Okay, so common uses, uncommon uses, things you can enchant them for, the type of workings you can use them with, um, intentions, that type of thing. And I know people like scour the internet and are always asking for like recipes for workings. So I'm going to kind of give you some things that you can kind of put together. I'll give you some ideas of how you can put the herbs together for your workings, but workings are personal. So a working for me is not going to be the same as a working for you, even if it has the same intention, because you should be consulting with your ancestors, and your ancestors are going to tell you exactly what it is that you need. So I know it's easier to use someone else's, but it's better to use your own. So I'll just say it like that. And you may think you need to do a love working, and your ancestors are like, girl, you got $2 in your account, do a prosperity working, stop playing with us. So, just saying, always go to your ancestors first. If you have like a collection of herbs and you know what those things are used for, your ancestors will guide you with the things that you have. So just always go to your ancestors first. So, first thing I want to talk about is the different types of sources of herbs. So, um, if you're in traditional mentorship, we had the part 1 of our tincture class in February. And just this past week, we had part 2 of our tincture class. I meant to bring it over here. It's over on my altar right now because it can't really be in the light. So it's like behind my, nope, I take that back. It's upstairs. It's all the way upstairs in a room that has no windows. And I get to strain it today and finish that. But in the tincture class, we kind of talked about hierarchy. So I have like, I'm allowed to show like this much of what that class was. But join mentorship. We learned so much in mentorship. I've done things that I didn't even think of to do in the first place, let alone to like actually do and be good at. Hi, Egg Bay. That's my Egg Bay, y'all. I love her. She know who she is. Love. That's Omole in the coven. If you see her in our coven chats, that's Omole. She is my Egg Babe. So, like I said, join mentorship. You can learn, like you can watch our videos and you can take all the free classes. And you can, learn how to do enough to get something going. But if you really want to make some shit shake, join mentorship. I'm just saying, we learn a lot. So anyway, back to the herbs. The best way to get herbs is to get them yourself. If you happen to know what herbs look like and you see them in the wild, that's the best way to get them. Things that grow in the wild vibrate higher. The next best thing would be to grow them yourself. If you have a garden, you have space for a garden, or you have space for pots, even just, to grow lavender or grow basil. That is the second best source, is things that you grew yourself with love and intent. Third best way is farmers markets, or if there's like a local farm that you can get stuff from. If you have um, even like a local store that is just purely for fresh things. We have something here called Fresh Time, which it's a grocery store, but it's not like a Kroger or a Publix type grocery store. It's like specifically for um, fruits, vegetables, organic type stuff. You can you can get very few like regular things there. Like even the waffles they sell are more in tune with nature, but still full of crap. Um, because it's processed. But anyway, so and then there's grocery stores where you can get stuff from. That would be like the next step below. So like Kroger's or Publix where they have those fresh herbs in a packet. Um, you can get those as well. Then fresh is going to be better than dried. Um, but sometimes we just got to make it do what it do, right? Drying them naturally yourself, that's better than buying them dried already. So if you can do that, do that. Um, Whenever I have to use flowers, you can't really see. Well, maybe you can. Let me see if I tilt this a little bit. There we go. If you can see my altar, there's flowers on the top of there. So they've been up there for a week. So once they start to not look as cute, I'll actually start to dry them and then I'll use them for other stuff. Or I might just make another Florida water. Who knows? And this time I might actually share it because I have a couple of people in my city who um, could benefit from some real Florida water and not this stuff in a plastic bottle that they sell here. So, anyway, you could also use, if you had to, tea bags. I would recommend not getting the blended ones, but unless you also need that other ingredient. But when you enchant it, it gets a little tricky. It'll work, but whatever. Powders, so like the superfine powder and capsules. There are certain things that come in capsulated form. It's just kind of processed and it's not really the best, but it'll still do what it do if you needed it. So, um, a lot of things work better with fresh herbs, but then some things need dried herbs. So, if you're making Florida water or a tincture or like a floor wash or a clothing wash, you definitely want to get like fresh herbs, fresh flowers, fresh fruit, cut, whatever. Those would be best. And also note, I'm going to say herb a lot, but that includes things that are considered spices. That includes flowers, plants, all that. I'm just going to say herb because I don't feel like making that distinction every 5 seconds. So herb means all the things that grow. Uh, Also, don't sleep on the power of roses and lemons. Like those are kind of like in an abundance. You can get those anywhere and you can do a lot with roses and you can do a lot with lemon. So definitely use those whenever possible. Oranges too. Any type of like citrusy fruit. And apple seeds. If you eat apples, save the seeds and you can use those in workings. If you because apples kind of turn really quick, so save the apple seeds. Pomegranate seeds, that type of thing. Those are all wonderful, and you can generally get those at the store. You don't have to like search for those. So those are good things to use. Dried herbs are really good in like sachets, candles, poppets, and incense. You do not want to use fresh herbs for those, especially a poppet, because a poppet will last for pretty much ever. I know Ia has one that she had made a long time ago, like years ago, and it still looks nice. I have one on the altar that I made for my daughter. If you're in the coven, you've seen pictures of it. It has her hair and it has like little waist beads in it. Um, it's really cute. I'm really proud of that one. I learned that one in mentorship. Mentorship. Anyway, um, so does anyone have any questions so far? I kind of went over a few things, but does anybody have any questions about the different types of herbs to get and the differences between dried and fresh herbs? I'll give y'all a second. I made some tea, so I know the comments are a little slow. And I know some people hopped on and hopped back off. I can see the numbers. I don't see any questions yet. I'm pouring honey in my tea. If you can stop using sugar in your tea, stop doing that. Use honey. And don't use the bear. The bear is like the worst honey. Honey is also something you can use in workings a lot. We use it a lot in the coven. Um, if you know, you know. There's a particular reason why we use honey a lot, but um, honey is great. It's good for sweetening. That's a little tidbit. That is not written in my notes, but I'm just going to tell y'all now. So um, I'm going to assume it was Kiara because I can't tell. Kiara, it is a hibiscus tea. It's like cute and pink. I don't know. I can't. I feel like if I like tilt that, it's gonna pour like onto my computer. But it's a hibiscus tea, so it's like this deep like rose, like rosy red, almost burgundy type color. Like how my dress looks on screen is how it kind of looks in the cup, but a little bit more pink. It's amazing. I'm trying to get back into drinking more water and tea and like no processed juice and stuff. It's nasty. So I have had dandelion tea. I've never made a dandelion tea. That sounds amazing. And dandelion is amazing. It's not going to be in this video, but I am going to do a video just about like flower type of herbs, and it's yeah. Yeah. I had a teacher that made us have eat dandelions, and I already didn't like her, and that made it worse. So, anyway, before I start talking about specific herbs, hi, Shalonda. Before I start talking about specific herbs, I'm going to briefly go over enchanting. Okay, so you already know my whole thing is enchanting, enchanted vibes, all that. It's important. So now rosemary is going to do what rosemary does. Mint's going to do what mint does. Lavender is going to do what lavender does. However, be intentional with your herbs and ask them to do what they do in specific ways for a specific purpose. That will actually make your working stronger. So you could just put herbs in there, say a cute little prayer, and it's gonna do something. But if you really want your workings to have power, you need to enchant them. I'm just saying. It's super easy. You can find out what they're good for by using Rabbi Google if you really wanted to. Some things I'm going to tell you, but or you can join mentorship and we'll give you lots of resources. We'll even tell you things that you're not going to find in books. But you should really be enchanting your herbs. If you've been in any of our classes where we do a group working, we really spend time on enchanting our herbs because it's very important. Hugan had an oil lamp class a couple of weeks ago that was really fantastic. And if there were people, it was like emotional the way that he was just like talking while people were enchanting. I wasn't doing the working because I had just found out about the class like 5 minutes before it started. So I wasn't doing it, but I was watching it still and doing like an assignment, and it was amazing. So really spend time with your herbs, talk to them, make sure you touch and feel on them, and that will definitely add to your working. Please do not skip that step. It is very important. So let's talk about some herbs now. Those of you who are seasoned practitioners, name one or two of your favorite herbs in the comments. And if you've never done spell work before, name one or two of your favorite herbs to work with or like to cook with. I guess I should say it that way. I'm going to go over some common uses, some uncommon uses, and some weird things that I found while doing my research. So in the comments, I want to see what you guys' favorite herbs are, either to use in workings or to cook with. All right, star anise, that's a good one. Star anise has this like kind of like secret power. I'm not gonna say what it is, but star anise has a definitely a little secret behind it. Lavender, I see a couple people like lavender. Rose, yes, and it smells good too. All right. So, first one that we're going to go over today is a very common one. It is basil. Basil is masculine. It is ruled by the planet of Mars and the element of fire. It is good for exorcism, love, protection, and wealth. Exorcism, love, protection, and wealth. It is also said that witches drink a cup of basil juice before flying off into the air, which is why it is often called witch's herb. There you go. It can also keep away goats from your property, but it will attract scorpions. Um, it's also said to prevent inebriation. So there's that. If you want to keep some goats away or you need to attract some scorpions, if you want to be the scorpion king, put some basil around your property. Let's see other. Okay, we got some basil. All right, yes, lemon balm, mugwort, coconut, lotus, and hibiscus. I have not used lotus yet, but I used it in an assignment where we had to do a hypothetical working, and it was a great idea. So I think I'm going to start uh, looking into lotus, and I may actually have lotus on my list. There we go, golden sun goddess. You just knew it is on this list. We're going to talk about that in a second. All right, so carnations is the second one we're going to talk about. So carnations, there's actually some on my altar. They are masculine, ruled by the sun and the element of fire. They are good for protection, healing, and strength. Okay, carnations are good for protection, healing, and strength. I'm going to repeat a little bit because I know some people are taking notes. This was worn during the Elizabethan times to prevent death on the scaffold. And so it was sometimes called the scaffold flower. The more you know, right? This is very common in hospitals, the flower shops and hospitals, because of its healing and strengthening properties. So that's why if you've ever visited someone in the hospital, if you go down to the gift shop where they have flowers, there's a lot of carnations. All right. I love coconut too. I love the way it smells, but shaved coconut is not for me. Shaved coconut is not my favorite. Just the thought of it grosses me out, but it smells amazing. All right, next one we're going to go over is coriander. So, coriander is masculine. It is ruled by the planet Mars and the element of fire. It is also known as cilantro, FYI, and by the way, if you didn't know, it is good for love, health, healing. Again, coriander is good for love, health, and healing. Supposedly, if pregnant women eat coriander, their growing baby will be ingenious. So, fun fact there. Oh, yes, saffron. So, I just posted a video on my YouTube channel and I talked about saffron. And I talked about saffron a lot because A, it does a lot, but I also like saying saffron. So, yes, saffron is amazing. All right, so the next one is ginger. It is masculine, ruled by the planet Mars and the element of fire. And it is good for love, money, success, and power. Again, ginger is good for love, money, success, and power. The Dubu Islanders in the Pacific would spit chewed ginger at a storm while at sea to stop it. So there's that, just in case you didn't know that. You could spit chewed ginger at a storm while at sea and maybe not die. And the more you know, right? All right, so lotus. Who was that said that they liked lotus? Let me see if it'll show me. Who was it? That was Golden Sun Goddess. All right, so lotus. It is feminine. It is ruled by the moon and the element of water. So lotus is good for protection work. In the Eastern world, it is a symbol of life, spirituality, and the center of the universe. And it is said that if you put a root of the lotus underneath your tongue and say a specific phrase toward a locked door, it will open. So it is also known for um, unlocking doors, which is the most random thing, but I might try that. So if you look it up, you can find the phrase. I don't want to butcher it because it's not in English, and that's probably part of it. You have to say it the right way. But if anybody tries it, please let me know. I want to know if that works. All right, so next is parsley. Everybody's heard of parsley, right? It is masculine, ruled by the planet Mercury and the element of air. It is good for lust, protection, and purification. Those are big words. So, parsley is good for lust, protection, and purification. Fun fact, I almost choked on air. That wasn't the fun fact. Okay, so fun fact, parsley is used as garnish to guard it from contamination. It is not just the aesthetic. Originally, parsley was put on plates of food to guard the food from contamination because of its protection and purification powers. See? Learn something. It is also associated with death and often considered evil. So there's that. Intention matters. So enchant, enchant, enchant. This is why we enchant, right? We don't want the opposite effect of parsley because you didn't enchant. All right. So next, everybody's favorite, rosemary. Can't have a video about herbs without saying rosemary. It's the king, homie. Just kidding. But no, for real. It's the king of herbs. It is masculine, ruled by the sun and the element of fire. It is good for protection, love, lust, mental powers, exorcism, purification, healing, youth, and sleep. There's a lot that you can do with just that. You don't even need to know anything else, right? Just kidding. I'll tell you. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can also use it to attract elves. So make sure you write that in your notes. Rosemary is good for attracting elves. FYI, by the way. All right, so we just went over the king, so now we're going to go over the queen. Most people may have heard of this, but they don't really know what it does. Vervain. Vervain is the queen of herbs, in my opinion. It is feminine, ruled by the planet Venus and the element of earth. So it is good for love, chastity, protection, purification, peace, youthfulness, money, healing, and sleep. So basically, everything that you could use rosemary for, but it's the feminine version. And if you've been in mentorship, you know why you need different types of energy. Sometimes you need more masculine energy. Sometimes you need more feminine energy. If you're doing feminine, divine feminine workings, if you have, sometimes you're still going to need masculine herbs for that. But vervain is a good herb to use if you're doing divine feminine workings. Also because it's ruled by Venus and the earth, right? So all good for that. So this little baby does every damn thing. Okay. If you've ever watched Vampire Diaries or Originals or Legacies, has anybody ever watched any of those shows? I see somebody said they definitely have vervain. Restaurants garnish everything with parsley, every dish. I guess it really was an ancient practice of the protection of from contamination. Yes, it was. I worked at a restaurant, and any dish that had eggs on it, we had to put parsley on it. That was like mandatory. And if the owner came in and it wasn't on there, it would not be good. This was a couple years ago where I worked there. I was a server. It's a damn good one too. But yes, you're absolutely right. Golden Sun Goddess. So anyway, if you ever watch Vampire Diaries, Originals, or Legacies, vervain was basically like another character. If you watch like every episode, they mentioned vervain a lot. It was like the character that you always heard of and only saw a couple times. So it turns out that one of its uses is to protect from enchantments, and which is why in the show vampires could not compel anyone that had vervain in their system. So that seems like it would be like a silly thing that was made up, but that's actually based in real life fact. So good to know. Yeah. Oh yeah, I put parsley on everything too. I do. I didn't know why. It just seemed like the right thing to do, especially eggs, like deviled eggs or doubled eggs, however you want to say it. I put a little bit of parsley and paprika sprinkled on top of those. Definitely put it in my eggs. The kids don't really care, so I don't put a whole lot um, if I'm frying eggs or making scrambled eggs, but I definitely put parsley in like any egg dish as long as it's not like French toast or something. That'd be weird. Maybe. I don't know. All right. So, got a couple more. One more. One more big herb we're going to go over. Um, yarrow. So, yarrow is feminine. It is ruled by the planet Venus and the element of water. So, yarrow is good for courage, love, psychic powers, and exorcism. So, yarrow is good for courage, love, psychic powers, and exorcism. So, washing your head with an infusion of yarrow can prevent baldness, but it will not stop it if it is already started. Full stop. I'm not going to say anything else about baldness because it just got real. So, I have to tell you that I really like enjoyed constructing this part of the class. And I just posted a video of 10 random herbs, and there are even more random uses. And I didn't mention any of those in this video. So definitely go watch that video. It's fun if you haven't already. Um, and to a parting gift, well, a gift to the super new babies, super new people who are new to working with herbs and using herbs for workings. Um, I'm going to give you like a list of intentions and herbs that are good for those intentions. And I picked like some of the easy things to get. I didn't pick, although vervain is, for me, it's easy to get because I live by a place that has it. I know that in some other places it's not that easy. So I did pick the easier to get herbs or something I know good and well that you can order online at Amazon for pretty cheap and get a lot of it. So, if you want to do some protection work, these are some good herbs for protection work: aloe, cinnamon, dill, feverfew. Some people say feverfew, however you want to say it. Garlic, and hyssop. Those are all good for protection. If you are wanting to do a working that will help with your psychic powers, and now psychic powers is not what they make it seem like on TV. Psychic powers, if you want to be able to understand and hear the voice of your ancestors better, which does not always mean clairaudient. Like I am claircognizant, so I don't actually hear them, but I kind of like hear them in my head. It's not an actual voice. I can't really tell the difference between the voices. I just know. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good idea. Or I should probably do this, right? That's claircognizance. So these kind of things will help you with that. And if you have a latent power of anything else, um, you can use these as well. How do I join the mentorship program? So in the description of this video, there is a link. It's like a link tree link, and it'll say Enchanting Vibes. If you click on that link, that will take you to the community outreach program. If you want to join traditional mentorship, if Omoworare, if you are still in here, can you post the link to traditional mentorship, or Omole, if you are still in here, or in any of the other priestesses? If not, I will make sure I post it underneath your comment when this is over if it's not posted in the comments. In order for me to get to it, I would have to do a lot of magic right now. Like actual magic, and I don't want to do that, but I'll make sure I get you the link to both traditional and the community outreach program. But the community outreach program link, if you click the link in this description, it'll take you to a page with different places that you can go, including ancestral life path readings. If anybody on here has not got one, please get one. They're amazing. I had one change my whole life. Thank you, Brittany. Brittany, you are the bomb. Love you, love you. Okay, so things for psychic powers. We have bay leaves, cinnamon, honeysuckle, lemongrass, mugwort, peppermint, rose, and thyme. I'll say that one more time. Bay leaves, cinnamon, honeysuckle, lemongrass, mugwort, peppermint, rose, and thyme. Those are all good for psychic powers. I know someone up at the top said they liked mugwort, so you can use mugwort to increase that. All right, so healing. Healing work. You can use allspice, apple. Remember I said save those apple seeds? Save the apple seeds and use those in your healing work. You only need a couple. If you're making, especially if you're doing a candle, you can use a number that makes sense to you. I'll say it like that. I usually use 5. If you want to know why I use 5, join mentorship. Cinnamon, garlic, and juniper. Those are all good for healing. Sorry, the tea made me burp. Love work. Everybody's favorite, right? Now, this includes self-love or love with you and your mother because you have a damaged relationship, or you and a sibling, or you and your children because you're either they're stressing you out or you're stressing them out, something like that, right? Love work is not just between you and some individual that you probably shouldn't be with. There are other forms of love work. So you can use apple, beets, cinnamon, chamomile, daisies, dill, jasmine, lavender, mint, and rose. I'll say that again because that was a lot. Apple, beets, cinnamon, chamomile, daisies, dill, jasmine, lavender, mint, and rose. All those are awesome for love work. Now here's the real meat and potatoes right here. Money. Money, money, money. Oh, vanilla for love. Yes. Did I mention vanilla in here? No. I think I mentioned it in one of the videos I just posted. I feel like I just talked about vanilla, or maybe I was just reading a lot. But yes, vanilla is also good for love. So money work, money, wealth, and prosperity work. Okay. Alfalfa, allspice, almonds, cinnamon, chamomile, dill, fenugreek. That's Fenugreek. Fenugreek. Super powerful, super easy to get online in mass. I used it in working the very first time. The very first working I used it in, it was a group working with Priestess Aoife Maloney. Worked quick. Then a couple months went by. I was doing prosperity workings like every week, but in this particular prosperity working, I decided to use fenugreek. And when I say quick, I mean 5 days. I got my taxes back in 5 days from the date I filed it to the day it was in my account. 5 days. So while everybody else was waiting for a couple weeks, I have 5 days. Use some fenugreek in your prosperity work. Just saying. And it smells good. You can also use mint and bay leaves. So alfalfa, allspice, almond, cinnamon, chamomile, dill, fenugreek, mint, and bay leaves. Strength work. This is more of physical strength. If you've been feeling, weak, if you've had some health conditions where your muscles have kind of like, I can't remember what it's called. I want to say retrofeed. Pecans and fenugreek gas worked wonders for me. Okay, see, use you some fenugreek. So strength. You can use mugwort, mulberry, plantains, saffron, and St. John's wort. Atrophy. Thank you, Amber. That is thank you, Brittany. That is the exact word I was looking for. If your muscles have, restricted due to atrophy because you haven't been able to walk around, if you were car accidents and stuff like that where you weren't able to get around, you broke a bone, something like that, and you need to strengthen your body, you can use mugwort, mulberry, plantain, saffron, and St. John's wort. I love you, Brittany. All right. So, spirituality work, spiritual work to strengthen your spirituality, to raise the vibration of you internally so that you can receive your spirituality. Cinnamon, frankincense, gardenia. I love gardenia. And myrrh and sandalwood. So everybody knows about the combo of frankincense and myrrh, right? There's a reason why frankincense and myrrh go together. They are perfect complements. You can also use rosemary as a substitute for frankincense. You can use rosemary as a substitute for everything, but it is most used as a substitute for frankincense. But yeah, so for spirituality, you can use cinnamon, frankincense, gardenia, myrrh, and sandalwood. And last but not least, wisdom, because we could all use some wisdom. Okay. Sometimes we up here asking and praying for stuff when we need to just be more wise with the stuff we got in the first place. So if you need to work on your wisdom, got almond, allspice, peach, sage, and sunflower. So for the peach, you can use the pit, or if you want to dry it, like if you want to chop it up and then dry it naturally in a way where it's not going to like mold, I would say you would probably need a dehydrator to do it without making it gross. You can use peach for that, but I would say the pit would probably be the best. And you could probably do that in like a floor wash if you just put the pit in there with some of your other ingredients and let it sit for a couple hours and seep. That would definitely work. So that's all I have today. What questions do you guys have? I'm going to sip on this tea and give you time to type questions. And this live will be immediately available. So if you missed any part of this class, as soon as this is over, you can rewatch it. You might even be able to rewind parts of it now. But just in case you can't, it'll be immediately available on whatever platform you're watching it on. So if you're watching it from my YouTube channel, or if you're watching it from Priestess's YouTube channel, it'll be immediately available. And if you're watching it from the Coven, it'll be immediately available. Does anybody have any questions? This was actually a lot of information. My classes usually don't have this much information. I'm the fun one. I'm the one where we're just talking crazy. I am planning for May. I am going to do another type of town hall. I just don't know what my topic is going to be, and I want people to join me on screen. So, give me ideas in the comments, or if you watch some of the videos on my channel, give me ideas in those comments. If I should do a town hall on some of the um, things that we've already discussed. Definitely need to do another generational curse one. All right. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions. Thank you, Kiara. Brittany, anything specific for depression, anxiety, for a bath or a candle? So anything that is good for calming will be good for depression or anxiety. Um, Chamomile is one because it's good for sleep. Lavender, trying to think off the top of my head. I know lavender, I know chamomile. There's a couple of more obscure ones that I can't even think about right now. Um, you can always do rosemary. You can always do vervain. Um, like I said, those are rosemary is definitely universal. If you need a little bit more feminine, actually no, use rosemary. If you're suffering with like depression and anxiety, that's usually more of a feminine trait. It has nothing to do with man or woman. Let's just clarify that. But it's usually a more feminine type of situation in that. So you need the masculine herbs to counter that. So I would say use rosemary for that. Um, and you can also use an herb for love for depression and anxiety, because usually when you're feeling depressed, you don't feel love for yourself, or you're lacking love for yourself. So you can definitely use any herb that's good for love and just enchant it for self love. There's a lot of herbs that are good for mental powers. You can use those to strengthen your mind. Trying to think, because there's so many herbs, and off the top of my head, I'm not that person that can pick an herb out the sky. But uh, you can also use herbs of protection for depression and anxiety as well. Orange peels, Kiara said yes. Any herb that brings happiness. Happiness is a whole genre of herbs as well. So you can use that. And orange peels, definitely. I have a whole big pack of dried ones, and then I also use the real ones when necessary. See, Janine, are there any herbs you can suggest for dominating a person or situation, or increasing personal magnetism and confidence? So, any herb that is good for success and power would be good for dominate or like overcoming a situation. Um, Dominating a person is iffy. That's like a fine line. So you want to be careful with that, because you don't want anybody to do it working on you where they're dominating you, right? So I would be careful with that part of it. But like if you have a coworker who's getting on your nerves, um, you can do things that will bring you success, bring you power, bring you love, bring you prosperity. And that's always going to work better than doing work on someone else, if that makes sense. The If you do work on yourself to attract the things you want, the people and things that are haters really aren't going to matter too much. Yes, absolutely, Brittany. And you don't want to intervene with someone else's path. So if you are going to do work on someone because you feel they've wronged you, divine first, always divine with your ancestors first. And then if they agree, then that's a little bit different. But you don't want to just do some work on someone. And if you're helping someone, you still do need to get permission from their ancestors, because again, they may think that they want a love working, so they're going to ask you to construct this love spell for them, but then their ancestors are like, nah, fam, you need some money with your $2 in your bank account. So always divine first, regardless, but especially if you're doing it on or for someone else. Yes, divine, divine, divine. Hi, John, the Conqueror root is good for success and power. Thank you. Yes, and that's one of the ones that's in one of my other videos that I just posted. So thank you for that. And thank you, Brittany, for those words of wisdom. All right. Any other questions? Let me sip some more tea. Those were really good questions. Thank you for asking. I think one day I'm going to do a Q&A. I'm going to have my book out, though, because if you're going to ask me about specific herbs, I will pull out the book, because I do not have that committed to memory. I'm not that good. Now, Omoworare knows some stuff about some herbs. Okay. I want her to bring back her daily herb posts. And she be growing things. I'm just now starting to grow stuff. We have a class tomorrow, and I'm going to use that as I'm growing things, because it's some work, y'all. Some absolute work. But yes, I will do a Q&A video. I might just do that strictly on YouTube, and I might not use Ia's platform for that. Because I know that she's very specific about what she wants on her platform, and I don't want to be disrespectful. So I might just do that strictly on my page. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Omoworare. Definitely bring that back, please. I'd love to grow my herbs. Girl, I'm just starting. I am just like, tomorrow is going to be like day one for real, for real. I have a bunch of little things. I have this thing that Omoworare recommended that I get that'll help grow them inside before you can take them outside, because it's Ohio and we still have freezing temperatures here, which is some nonsense. So yeah, grow your own herbs. All right, y'all. Let me end this real quick. We're at almost an hour. So thank you so much for joining me today. However you are watching this, you may come back to it. It's going to be up. It's not going to disappear. And as soon as the broadcast is over, you'll be able to replay it if you missed parts. And if you click the link in the description, it will take you to the link tree with links to our community outreach program. It'll take you to links to the Coven's Facebook page if you are watching from anywhere that's not the Coven right now. If you're watching from YouTube, if you click the link, you'll be directed to the Coven. It'll give you my YouTube channel, where I posted all those other videos I talked about. And it'll give you also the link to book an ancestral life path reading with one of the priestesses. If you have not had one of those, get one of those, especially if you're new. It will definitely help you with your practice and helping you get started. If you don't know where to start, thank you, Alafia, Brittany, thank you. If you don't know where to start, get an ancestral life path reading from one of the priestesses, and that will help you with your ancestor altar, messages from your ancestors, all that type of stuff. When she did mine, it absolutely changed my whole life. Changed everything. So get one of those. Please, please, please get one of those. If you're in mentorship, you need to get one anyway. It's super important. It'll help you a lot. I will not be live next Saturday because it is my youngest's birthday. So I'm going to be baking cupcakes and all other types of stuff and playing with children. And I think we're going to some trampoline type place. So I will not be live next Saturday. So this will be the one time I'm not here. So I'll catch you the Saturday after that. And I believe I'm going to start doing a tarot series. So by the time you see me, we're going to be talking about some tarot a little bit. So until next time, keep your head so high you can't even see the haters. Peace. Bye, y'all.